What's up guys, this is Space Killazilla, and today I will be doing a Polycam tutorial to show you guys how to scan objects three-dimensionally and take them into software like Blender or Nomad and edit them there. Now you can use pretty much anything your heart desires. Right here I'm going to use this old World War II model. It's a little dated, but I'm hopefully going to be able to reproduce this in Nomad Sculpt and basically make a bunch of copies for like my monster figures and kaiju figures and stuff like that. So what I have right here on top of it is a they call it a Lazy Susan. I don't know about that name, but it's a turntable, honestly. Got this one on Amazon. I'll link it in the description. You could also use a turntable with a motor. I prefer to use those because I just feel like it's easier for what we're going to do here. So let's get into it. So right now I have my phone set up on a tripod, and we're using the app called Polycam, as I said before. Now, let's see. I haven't done it like this before. Typically what I do is I use a digital camera, but that has honestly been taking up a lot of space and a lot of a lot of space, so we're just gonna use the phone for now. Hold camera still and tap record button. So I have it on the and this is how I have it set up on the phone. Alright, so I'm gonna balance my iPad on my knee. So we will use the most tried and true method, which is just taking a bunch of photos, and I believe there is a limit, but here we go. All right, gonna get that nice and centered, and we're just gonna tap this a bunch of times, okay? Tap, 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 tap. Okay. There's also a video mode. I think you can upload your own video. I think that would honestly be preferable to this, because this is this is not fun. But this is just with basic, this with like a basic equipment. You don't really need anything fancy for this method. Okay. I'm just gonna think that's about one revolution. Okay, and then we'll hit done. Now, there are a couple options here. We have defaults, provides a good balance. These are, what do you call them, for your meshes. If you want a high density mesh or just a really quick render, I usually go for high density, so I'm gonna hit raw, and then I'm gonna hit upload and process, and it's gonna take some time to complete that. Okay, so it's processing now, so we'll just wait for that to finish. Okay, and here we go. There is a setting where you can actually not get the board. It separates the object from its environment, but I mean, that's a pretty clean scan just for like doing a bunch of photos. I'll show you the mesh that it created right now. Looks really good. I mean, obviously this isn't a perfect, software. Like, you do have to have some sort of like knowledge on how to fix something like this. Like, you see all the wheels are kind of amalgamated into one thing, but that's an easy fix. So now what we want to do is go to our laptops and log into our Polycam. Okay, so now we are in Polycam. This is the file. Again, turn the textures off, and you can see the mesh. Now we're going to go into download. It only gives you the option for GLTF if you're using the free version. I think eventually I will upgrade, because just having it in OBJ would make my life a lot easier. But we're going to export this. Just save it to a folder. I'm going to name it like tank. Alright, and now what we want to do is just go into Google and search up GLTF to OBJ converter free. And you can pretty much just select the first site that comes up. Don't know why it's showing my personal information, and we'll hit convert to OBJ. And that'll take some time. Shouldn't take too long. Yeah. Oh, this one's cool. It actually shows you the file. So now we'll download. We'll go back into that folder. Cam. It'll will save as a zip folder. So now what we want to do is just extract all of that. Extract it. Shows you the, pretty sure that's the texture. But pretty much, if you have like, say a resin slicer or something like that, scale it to the bit size. That's obviously not good, but there's the model. I mean, again, it's not perfect. You will have to like edit it some, but this is just a basic. This is the basic way tutorial on how to scan things with Polycam. Okay, I've done this tutorial going on 4 times now, but it's really not that hard. I'm just getting frustrated because, you know, I keep messing it up. But basically, if you want to scan something, for instance, I'm scanning this little Godzilla that I sculpted years ago. What you can do is use the app Polycam, which I have open right here, to essentially scan the object, and then you can import it into, let's say, like Nomad or Blender to kind of edit it and sculpt around it. So what I've got here, I've got 2 pieces of poster board. I've got my display stand. You can use a like a regular wooden one and just like tilt it. But basically, you want to have something that can get like a 360 view of the object and sort of take pictures from each individual angle. Honestly, you could just use like the 2 pieces of poster board, but I think for time constraints and simplicity's sake, I'm just going to use my display stand because that's normally what I use. So I'm going to put this piece of black paper so that the it matches the background, and it won't become a part of the object because I've had that happen as well. So what we're going to do is go into the plus icon, and we're going to select object, and I'm going to turn on my scanner. I also have my phone attached to a camera tripod. Don't really need to do that. You could like prop it up against some books or something. I have my light. You don't want it to be too harsh, I don't think, and you don't want to create too much of a harsh shadow because I've heard other creators say like that can affect the quality of your model. So now I'm just going to zoom in a bit more, try to get the object in focus. I think it's a little too close. Still a little too close. Hold camera still and tap record button. And so yeah, basically you just want to tap, 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 and just keep doing this until you get like a 360 view of the object. I believe there's 150 photos that you can add. That's the maximum amount. And yeah. Typically, I'll use a digital camera because I feel like it might have better, it can pick up the detail better. But for now, I'm just using the phone and the camera setting. And so next what you want to do is also flip the object and sort of take photos so that the scanner can pick up that detail. And then again, we're just going to go for another 360. It's very tedious, I'm not going to lie, but most digital cameras have a setting where you can automate the system and it just takes pictures on every interval. I believe you can also do a video recording, and now I'm going to do the other side. You can upload a video recording to Polycam and they will generate the model based off of that. Okay. And I'll say that's it. And here we go. This is the processing setting section. Not what we want. Basically, you have fast. This is for the mesh. So if you're like a 3D artist or you're savvy with this kind of stuff, it has a really quick option, or it has like option with high detail. I typically go for this because it helps me see the details better in like a program like Nomad. So I'm gonna hit upload and process. And I'm gonna turn this off. So it's gonna upload. It usually takes not that long between the uploading process and the stage where you can actually like mess around with the model. But we'll wait. Well, I'll let it process and then we'll come back. All right, now we're in Polycam back. So the thing has processed. So we've got some artifacts there on the top, and it did end up capturing some stuff on the bottom. I think this is because I did the, I flipped it to the side, which I don't typically do. Let's just see that. So yeah, it didn't really capture the bottom the way I'd hoped. This is just user error, but you can see, like, again, this is how you can scan things. Obviously, you know, you don't have to flip it. I think that's what I learned today. Don't flip it. But I mean, that's the model, you know. So I would just essentially download this onto my computer, my laptop. I would save it as a GTLF file because that's the only option that's free. Convert it with the first, you know, GTLF to OBJ website that I can find, and download that OBJ, add it to my Google Drive, download it on my iPad. So that's pretty much how you do it with the free version. Now, this is a bit, what do you call it? Fuck, I forgot the word, but now I'm going to try and show how I would typically do it with a digital camera. So if you've been following me on my Instagram, this is a custom Shin Gabora model action figure that I've been working on. And now I'm going to scan this because I want to, all the little cuts I made to the vinyl, you know, I want to be able to kind of save that information and import it into Nomad so that I can hopefully like reproduce this figure at a later time by having all of the parts as a 3D model. Okay, so now we are going to go back into Nomad and we're going to try and do it again. Object. And again, I'm using a tripod, which I said already. I don't know. Okay, gonna zoom in a bit more. Still kind of close, so let me go back to the one. Not really loving that it doesn't have a decent zoom feature, and I'm gonna lower the light on this because that might affect the model. Should I just leave the natural sunlight? I'm gonna leave a little bit. No, I'm gonna leave the light off for this one. Okay. So now, what's this? Don't know what that is for. So it's most likely gonna capture the, unless I, hold on. I'm going to raise the tripod so I can get just the figure and not the display stand. So bear with me real quick. Oh, and I said I was gonna use I said I was gonna use the digital camera for this one. All right. This is a Sony Lumix camera. Let's turn this on. And let me just adjust everything. I am a fan of using the digital camera just because I feel like it really speeds up the process, but at the same time, it is a bit more complicated. Okay. Bring this a bit closer. So this is what it looks like from the camera. Okay, let's do it. So I'm gonna go into menu, gonna select time-lapse shot, and I have the shooting interval from basically every second it's gonna take a photo, and it's gonna have 50 photos in total. When it comes to uploading the photos from a camera to Polycam, Polycam only accepts JPEG. So right now, I gotta find the setting that changes the setting to allow JPEG photos from the photos you take, as well as raw photos. Okay, it's in one of these. Okay, well, I can't find it right now, but basically, you want to have JPEG photos come out, not raw. So I'm going to start. All right, now we've got everything lined up, and I'm just going to hit that start. Oh, shit, it's not really. Hopefully that doesn't affect the model that much, but you want to have everything in the same frame. And it's saving it to the SD card that's in the camera. Okay, that's it. So it says create video. I'm just gonna hit no because it doesn't really create a good video. All right, that's done. We can turn off the stand and turn off the camera. And now I will take the SD card and I will import it. I'm gonna import all the photos I took into my laptop. Okay, so now I'm just selecting all the pictures that the camera took. I'm I'm going to cut them, and what I like to do is just go into my camera imports file, create a new folder. I usually do the date, so today's 4/13, 25. Whoops, did not. Hello, 4/13/25. Oh, number. Okay, good old number lock. Okay, 13/25. Okay, and now I will paste everything there. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Takes up a lot of gigabytes. If you can see that. Okay, here's everything. Now I'm going to sort by type. I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm just going to name it JPEG. And I'm going to move all the JPEGs into one folder because we're going to use these in Polycam. So there's everything. Now we go into Polycam and we're gonna hit create. Yeah, and then we're gonna hit, we're gonna create a photogrammetry model. So you have a max amount of photos for 150 max photos. You can add a video. I need to try this one, this option, but we're gonna choose from the file system. Let's go to where I had my pictures, camera imports, today's date, JPEG, and we're going to select everything. Okay, and see, these settings, I didn't find them on the phone, but basically you want to select this to isolate the object from the environment. So if it picks up the stand or something like that. Sequential, turn this on if all the photos are organized in the order they were taken. It says 30 to 40 minutes. I've never had it take that long to process, and we're gonna go with raw. Okay, we're gonna upload and process. Back here you can see I've scanned other action figures in my collection, and what I typically like to do is just like scan them so I can have a better idea of like what I'm sculpting. So I use them as references. I haven't actually printed a model that I've scanned, typically because, you know, they do come out kind of clunky and you do have to do a lot of editing for them, but eventually I will print something that I have scanned. So it's uploading now. It's going to process that. While it's processing, let's look at some of the other things I've scanned. So this is the figure that I scanned before I customized it at all. This was a really good scan. Like, it really did capture a lot of the detail in the figure. Gonna click that. You can see the mesh. Tilt this. Okay, get that. You can see the mesh it doesn't capture, yeah, see like these claws, for instance. Oh, that's not it. It has a hard time differentiating the different claws and stuff, so it just makes them into one big mitt, but that's okay, because if you are savvy with Nomad or Blender, you can easily just create some new claws and add those to the figure. Yeah, let's see if it's finished. Still processing. Yeah, this one, boy, I've never had this type of artifacting show up. But again, on the phone, it doesn't have that option to isolate the object from the environment. You can even kind of see inside of the model, inside of the mesh. This was not a good scan, but again, you can use the technique of using the spinning display stand to acquire a decent model. Still processing, and again with this one, is there a way? I don't know if there's a way to edit it in Polycam, but yeah. Okay. So yeah, it'll take some time, but I will come back when it's finished. All right, well, somebody lied to me and said that you could, that when you did a screen recording on the iPad, like, it would also pick up the microphone, but I guess not. Anyways, I've imported all the models into Nomad, my favorite sculpting software. And right here, you can see I'm just trimming the excess of the model, you know, the artifact that we don't want. And I could go further in detail if people want to see that, but I'm not going to do it for the sake of this video. But this model I made of the action figure came out really well because it captured the section cuts that I want for where the, you know, the knees rotate or the ankles rotate. And so I'll hopefully be able to use this data and reproduce the figure at a later time. Now, probably the worst model out of the three was the Chibi Godzilla, which you would think it would be the best looking one, but because of how simple it is, but didn't come out that way. It's probably because I flipped it. So I would say maybe don't flip things to get the rest of the model detail, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm really proud with how they all came out. And I think that's about it, but let me know what you guys decide to sculpt, your thoughts on this, and yeah, stay tuned for the next video.